Ever get that feeling like you're just banging your head against the wall trying to force a solution to a problem?
Oh, tell me about it.
I remember one time I was trying to solve this crazy complex riddle,
Uh-huh.
and I was just stuck in this loop, same approaches over and over again, and then it hit me.
What was it?
I needed to completely shift my thinking. Like, look at the problem from a whole new angle.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to just walk away, clear your head.
Exactly. And that's kind of what today's deep dive is all about, actually.
Oh,
OpenAI's latest release, O1, it's got everyone buzzing about this revolution in AI reasoning.
sure.
And we're going to unpack why it's so much more than just another update.
And OpenAI themselves are really drawing a line in the sand with this one. Their blog post goes way beyond just bragging about benchmarks.
Yeah, they're not holding back.
They're emphasizing this huge shift, moving away from brute force pattern recognition towards something way closer to how we humans reason.
Okay, so our listeners, they already know OpenAI from stuff like ChatGPT.
Right.
But we got to stress, this is a whole different ball game.
Completely different. It's like this. Imagine instead of just teaching AI to recognize patterns like matching words in a sentence, we're now talking about teaching it to think step by step,
Yeah.
analyze, then solve.
So less like memorizing a phone book and more like understanding how to actually use a phone to call someone.
Exactly. It's about strategy, giving AI the tools to course correct, even recognize its own mistakes. Remember when OpenAI had GPT-4 try those International Math Olympiad problems?
Yeah, they got a decent score, right? Like 13% or something?
13%, respectable at the time, sure, but O1, it
Mm.
just crushed it. Solved a whopping 83% of those same problems. Get out.
Oh, seriously. And it's not just about the score. It's about the types of problems O1 can handle now. There was this one geometry problem. Overlapping circles, calculating a specific area.
Sounds tough.
GPT-4 couldn't figure out the steps, but broke the problem down, applied theorems, step by step, boom. Correct solution.
Okay, now that's impressive. This isn't just arithmetic. We're talking high-level math here.
Yeah.
Is that what OpenAI means by O1 spending more time thinking? Sounds almost human.
It's a good comparison. OpenAI is moving towards AI that doesn't just compute, it reasons. And get this, they've incorporated something called reinforcement learning from human feedback, RLHF for short, right into O1's training.
Okay, got to break that down for me. Reinforcement learning. In this context, what did that even mean?
All right, think of it like this. You're learning a new board game.
Okay, I can picture that. You wouldn't just memorize the rule book, would you? You'd learn by playing, by doing, making moves, seeing what works, what doesn't.
Right, trial and error.
RLHF is similar. It's like giving the AI positive reinforcement when it reasons correctly, and a little nudge when it goes off course.
So it's learning from its mistakes, getting better each time.
Exactly. Over time, it learns to make better decisions. Its reasoning abilities get refined.
Pretty cool stuff. But this all sounds very theoretical. What about some real-world practical examples? What can O1 actually do with all this brain power?
Let's talk coding.
Okay, a world that many of our listeners live and breathe.
Logic and problem solving are everything in coding. So OpenAI pitted O1 against seasoned programmers on Toad Forces.
For those who don't know, Code Forces, that's a popular platform for coding competitions, right?
You got it. And we're not talking about simple stuff here. This is complex algorithmic challenges.
And then how ones do, spill the beans.
89th percentile.
Wait, seriously, the 89th percentile.
It's not just writing basic code, it's competing at a near professional level. Optimizing for efficiency, even coming up with creative solutions that some human coders missed.
All right, now that's what I'm talking about. Forget the math Olympiad. This is where it gets really interesting.
Right.
The possibilities are endless, automating complex tasks, building smarter software. But hold on, I know what some of our listeners might be thinking right now.
What's that?
Smarter AI, potentially bigger risks.
Right, that's the question everyone's asking.
Did OpenAI address these safety concerns? All this advanced reasoning, it's got to come with some safeguards, right?
They did. And a good chunk of their blog post is dedicated to explaining just that.
Okay, so less trust us and more, here's exactly how we're making it safe.
Exactly. And it's clever stuff. Remember how we were talking about O1 understanding the why, not just the what behind its actions? Well, they've applied that to safety, too.
How so?
Instead of just having a set of rules, they've used O1's own reasoning abilities to make it understand the logic behind those rules.
Whoa, so it's not just blindly following orders, it understands the reasoning.
Exactly, making it a whole lot harder to trick into misbehaving.
Okay, that's next level. But how do they even test that? What's stopping someone from finding loopholes, jailbreaking O1, to get around those safety measures.
Ah, that's where the jailbreaking tests come in. They basically try to trick O1 into breaking its own rules, like getting it to generate harmful content.
I see. So they're trying to exploit its weaknesses, see how robust it really is. What were the results like?
Well, GPT-4, on one of their tougher jailbreaking tests, scored a measly 22 out of 100.
Oof, not exactly a stellar track record.
Not at all. O1 scored an 84.
84, you're kidding. That's a massive jump.
Talk about a glow-up.
That's not just an improvement, that's a whole new level of safety. It's like they anticipated the dangers and built in the safeguards right from the start.
Exactly. They're not messing around when it comes to safety.
But hold on, we've been going on and on about this super-powered, super safe AI. But how accessible is this thing going to be? Is it only for the tech elite?
Actually, OpenAI has a rollout plan that caters to a few different groups.
Mhm.
And developers especially are going to want to listen to this next part. They've got something special just for them.
Oh, now you've piqued my interest. What have they cooked up?
So alongside the main course, which is O1, they're also serving up a leaner, meaner version, O1 Mini.
Okay, mini but mighty. I like the sound of that. But what's the catch?
Think of it as a specialized version of O1, completely laser-focused on code. Faster, cheaper to run, and from what they've said, even more efficient at tackling those complex coding tasks.
So it's like every developer's dream sidekick.
Pretty much.
Sign me up. But what about the rest of us who aren't fluent in Python or JavaScript? When do we get to play with O1?
Don't worry, OpenAI hasn't forgotten about you. They're doing a staged rollout. Right now, it's ChatGPT Plus and team users who get first dibs. That includes both O1 Preview and the O1 Mini. Next week, it'll be ChatGPT Enterprise and Edu users getting in on the action.
Okay, and what about everyone else?
O1 Mini will be available to all free users as well eventually. They haven't announced an exact date yet, but it's good to know they're not restricting it to paying customers only.
That's great to hear. Makes it seem less like an exclusive club, more like a technology for everyone. But let's be real for a second. This is a very early release, right? We're just scratching the surface here of what O1 can do. What can people realistically expect at this stage?
You're absolutely right. This is just a sneak peek. Right now, O1 is an absolute beast at reasoning and problem solving.
We've established that.
But it's not the do-it-all AI assistant some people might be hoping for. At least not yet.
So no web browsing, file uploads, or custom instructions for now.
Not in this initial release, no.
Right.
Those features are on the roadmap for sure, but right now, OpenAI is laser-focused on solidifying that core reasoning engine. Once that's rock solid, then they'll layer on the bells and whistles.
Makes sense. Got to build a strong foundation before you start adding floors to the skyscraper.
Precisely.
So, O1 Preview, it's a taste of what's to come. It's about establishing that foundation for the future. And we're back. Before the break, we got really into the nitty-gritty of O1, like how OpenAI actually pulled off this whole reasoning revolution thing.
Really fascinating stuff.
But now I kind of want to indulge in a little what if.
I like where you're going with this.
Because the potential here, it's kind of mind-blowing when you really start to think about it.
It really is. This isn't just like tweaking existing tech. It's way bigger.
Right.
It's like a fundamental shift in how we solve problems, how we innovate. Take scientific research, for example.
Okay, give me a sneak peek into the future of science, powered by O1.
Imagine a world where instead of spending years, decades even, just analyzing data, researchers have O1. You feed it massive data sets, genomics, climate data, astronomy, you name it. And O1 can identify patterns, connections, things we might miss entirely.
So we're talking about breakthroughs at warp speed, curing diseases, fighting climate change, understanding the universe. All because we've got AI that can analyze information in ways we can't even imagine.
Exactly. It's not even just about speed. It's about what becomes possible. Say you're researching a complex disease, like Alzheimer's. So many factors involved: genetics, lifestyle, environment. Owen could analyze all of that data, potentially pinpoint key markers that would have been impossible to isolate before.
Okay, now you're talking about real impact, but let's bring it down to earth for a sec. How does this change our everyday lives? What can people expect to see, not in decades, but in the next few years?
Well, let's take something simple, like coding.
Okay, yeah.
Imagine not needing to be a coding whiz to build a website, an app, even just automate a boring task.
Now you're talking my language. I'm all about technology, but coding, not my forte.
Right. So imagine describing what you want. Build an app to track expenses, and O1 just does it.
Yeah.
Generates the code, tailored to you.
So no more late nights wrestling with code, searching for solutions online.
Exactly. It's about empowering people who don't have the skills or resources to make their ideas happen.
Okay.